This is the third bonus question to question 12. It's the last one. We have the f of x equals x plus 3 over x squared minus x minus b. B is a constant. That means b is a number. It could be 2, 3, 4, 5, any number. Back to it. B is a constant in the function above. If x equals -3 is a value for which the function is undefined, which of these following is a factor of x squared minus x minus b? This question is not hard. It's all about finding the keywords. The keyword or the keywords will point to the topic or the topics involved in forming this question, which would help us solve the question. Now, back to it. We have the first keyword that points to one of the topics involved in forming this question is the word function. That points to the topic functions. The second is the word undefined, from the topic undefined value. Lastly, the word factor points us to the last topic involved in the formation of this question. And when you have the word factor and an algebraic expression, we're talking about division of polynomials. So the third topic involved in this question is division of polynomials. And that is the core of the question, because the question says, which of the following is a factor? That means the core of it is talking about the factor of this expression, which is x squared minus x minus b. It's the same as the denominator of this function. So we have to find which of these following options is a factor of this expression. That means we're working more with division in polynomials. But we also need the undefined value in aiding us to solve this question. The topic function is just to create the question and not really needed in solving this question. Note that there are primarily two ways of solving this question: the method an average student will use and the method an experienced student will use. The method an average student will use, or most students will use, will require finding b first. The method an experienced student will use doesn't require we find b first. That would save us more time. But most students would tend to finding b first using the undefined value. This method will be applied in solving this question first. For us to find which of them is a factor, we need to find b, because we need a factor of this, but we don't have the complete expression. So we can find b, then find which of them is a factor. Now, to find b, taking into account that if x equals -3, this function will be undefined. And we know what it means for the function to be undefined is that the denominator has to equal to 0. And for you to get the denominator to be 0, you have to take x as -3. And that would help us get b. So we have x squared minus x minus b equals 0. This can happen if we take x to be -3. And with x as -3, we'll find b. So we'll take x as -3, that's -3 squared minus, x is -3, so you have -3 in brackets minus b equals 0. -3 squared is -3 times -3. That will give you +9. Negative times negative will give you positive. 3 times 3 will give you 9. So you have this as 9. Next, you have a negative and a negative. You have to be very careful here. Negative and a negative, you resolve them into 1. Negative will give you positive, or you can say negative times negative will give you positive. So you have +3 minus b equals 0. 9 plus 3, that's 12. 12 minus b equals 0. We're looking for b. This b owns is negative. You could take this +12 over the equals sign, it turns to -12, and you solve for b. Or you can say, since this b owns is negative, you take it out to the negative. Although standard in math, you say add b to both sides. You have 12 equals b. You can simply say b equals 12. Now that you know b is 12, you can write this expression taking b as 12. So you have x squared minus x minus 12. So the denominator of this function is actually x squared minus x minus 12. Remember, the question says which of these following is a factor of x squared minus x minus b. And you know b is 12, so this is the actual expression. So which of them is a factor? To know which of them is a factor, you have to either do polynomial division. That is, you divide this expression by each of them and see which one would not give you a remainder. Or you equate each of the values in the option to 0. Then you find what each of your x's represent and insert them into the equation and see which one gives you 0 or which one results in 0. Or you can also simply factorize. Once you factorize, you get two values, one of which will be an option. Note that of the three sub-methods, the factorization method seems to be the best in this case as it saves more time. Let's use the factorization method first. You might not understand the term factor. Factor means a value that can divide another value without a remainder. Let's take, for example, 10. A factor of 10 is 2. If you divide 10 by 2, you get 5. That's 5 without a remainder. Same applies to this. Let's say, for example, you have 10. If you take 10 and you break it down, you can have 2 times 5. You can also have 1 times 10. Each of these is a factor of 10. 1 is a factor of 10, 2 is a factor of 10, 5 is a factor of 10, and 10 is a factor of 10. Same applies to this. If we break this down by factorization, we'll get its 2 factors, one of which is the right option. Let's factorize to find which one of them it is. Since the coefficient of x squared is 1, we can just focus on the coefficient of x, which is negative 1, and the constant, which is negative 12. Now, we look for two numbers that will multiply to give us negative 12, yet when we add them, it gives us negative 1. Two numbers that will give you 12, you can have 1 times 12, that won't work. 2 times 6 won't work. 3 times 4 will work. One of them has to carry a negative because you need to get a negative 12. Yet when we add them together, you still get negative 1. For you to get negative 1, the bigger value would have to carry the negative. That means this 4 carries the negative. That's negative 4 and positive 3. Those are the two values. If you multiply negative 4 times positive 3, you get negative 12. If you add negative 4 plus positive 3, you get negative 1. So these are the two values that will work. So you have x squared minus 4x plus 3x minus 12. You take the first two, x squared and minus 4x. You have x common in both of them. You take out x, you'll be left with x divide x squared, you'll be left with x in negative 4x, you'll be left with negative 4. You close your bracket. The x will take the x from the negative 4x, leaving you with negative 4. Then in plus 3x and negative 12x, we have 3 common. So you bring out plus 3, you open the bracket. If you're very good, you will know what you have in this bracket will be the same as this. So you can just say x minus 4, close your bracket. Yeah, you take one of these identicals. You have x minus 4 in one bracket. Then in the second bracket, you have x plus 3. Let's check which of them is in the options. X minus 4, there's no x minus 4 in the options. You have x plus 3. X plus 3 is an option. So the answer to this question is B. That's x plus 3. I said earlier, you can equate each of the options to 0 to find their x values. Then substitute each x value into the equation to see which one results to 0. Let's take the option that we know is the answer. You have x plus 3, we equate it to 0. You'll be having x equals positive 3 crosses the equals sign, it turns to negative 3. X is negative 3. So we'll take negative 3 and insert it into this quadratic expression and see if it results to 0. Let's do it by the side. X squared minus x minus 12. We take x as negative 3. So we have negative 3 squared minus x is negative 3. Negative 3 minus 12. Negative 3 squared is 9. Negative negative will give you positive. Positive 3 minus 12. 9 plus 3 would give you 12 minus 12. 12 minus 12 will give you 0. Now that x equals negative 3 has resulted into 0. To take the factor from this, you take the negative 3 back to the left to meet x. So x equals -3 results in 0. So we have to make a factor out of it. You have x, then -3 crosses the equals to sign and turns to +3. X plus 3 is meant to be equal to 0. Then all you need is this x plus 3. X plus 3 is a factor. You can also use this method, but you'd have to try each of the values to see which will result to 0 before you can pick your answer, and that will take a lot of time. This exam is time-based, and using this method can take your time. Even using polynomial division will take more time. So of this method that is subdivided into 3, the best is factorization. I said earlier, there's another major method where you don't have to find b first. That method is the shortest, although it has one limitation. The method will be explained in the next video as method 2 to solving this question. Make sure you use the playlist section so you can get the videos in the right order.